Hello, friends from all around the world. Welcome to another Blender episode. In our last episode, we made a toilet, and I'd like to say it's a nice looking little toilet. So hopefully you guys are happy with that. Today we are going to work on a bathroom sink. I have not practiced this, so we are going to figure it out together. I don't like to pre-do things because I feel like you guys don't get a work of art. You get something that's just manufactured, I guess. So let's start by shaping this block a little bit. I made a new block by hitting Shift A, and that'll just bring you up your little menu here. You can also right click. Oh no, I kind of forget how to do it the other way. It's been too long. Anyways, so we're going to start. What are we making again? A sink. All right. We'll start by shrinking it down like so. And we're going to make a bathroom sink, so it's going to have to fit in a vanity that's around the same size within portions of the toilet. Should be easy enough to do. Let's actually go back on that block to about there actually, and we're going to go back and hit tab. We're going to go on lines here, and we're going to start clicking off these top edges. When all 4 edges on the top are clicked off, we're going to hit Control B, and we're going to roll our mouse and our wheel in a few times to give us a better edge. And we're going to be looking for a bathroom sink shape. So whatever that is to you, everybody's going to have a different version in their heads, but just do the best you can to try to make the shape you're after. I believe they're a little bit more of not a perfect circle and more of like an oval shape like this, or a rounded rectangle is what I would guess at. Next, we're going to go ahead and switch to faces, and a bathroom sink is not that shallow, but to hold that curve on the edge, we're going to keep it the same and just move this edge down. So I think we've got the basic shape of a bathroom sink. We'll flip out edit mode and we'll move it up a little bit. Sorry, I'm sniffling a little bit. Got a little bit of a cold again. And, all right, looking pretty good. We won't work on it much more yet because we're going to need to use that shape to punch out of another shape. So here's a normal block, and you can see it's a little bit different on the proportions from what we have. So let's thin this out. This is going to be our countertop, maybe a little bit more, and then we'll just hit S and we'll drag it a little bigger. We'll move it up to make sure it's a little bigger. But had we worked on that middle piece anymore, let's am I on the right shader? Let's change to our other shader. I'm sorry about that. It's probably hard for you guys to see. I was on my coloring shade. Alright, so we'll just move it up till it's just a little bit in, like so. There's a couple different ways we could do this. We can make a lip that sits in, but I think I'll just do this nice and simple. So we will go and we'll hit Shift D after clicking this one to make a copy of it. We're going to right click to let it auto center again. Oh boy, I almost messed up big time here. Let's grab the second one just by Shift left click, and we're going to drag it over here. The reason we're going to do that is then we're going to give us some room on the back to be able to put a sink, or sorry, the sink attachments and stuff. So, and we're going to want a little bit of an edge here in case you want to round that edge or anything. I think that's correct. We'll just grab one this time. We'll grab the second one. We'll go to Object. We'll go to Bool. We'll go to Difference. Now we have our shape. Our counter is punched out of the shape. So that's perfect. We'll probably leave it there. We might actually have to move it just a millimeter. You're going to see when those edges line up. Maybe you want to go inside. Maybe you want to go outside. Maybe you want to make a lip. I'm just here to give you a basic idea of how to get there. So let's go back in edit mode on this piece. We're going to grab the top face and only the top face this time, like so. I'm going to hit I, and we're going to go in. And then we're going to hit E, and we're going to go down until about the first little gap down there. You're going to have to kind of guess at it. If you look, you should be able to see the pieces come through the side, and you know you went way too far, so maybe up a little bit, and then we'll hit S. Then we'll hit E. Oh, I think I hit the wrong button there. Yeah, I did. So I'm going to hit E again. I must have hit W. And just go down a little bit more, and you can see the edges poke through, and then hit S again. And that's probably good for our sink shape, but if you really want to be specific and have a little more contours, go down one more time, then hit S to drag it in. Make sure you're good and in, and all your edges are cleanly on the inside and not on the outside. We got a pretty good looking sink now, I'd say. All right, and we still got to do a few more things to smooth it out after. We're just trying to get the shape and look. We might have to punch that top shape out again. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. We're good enough we can make this work, right? So next I'm going to go ahead and make a bottom piece because we're going to need a bottom piece to our counter. And we're just going to kind of watch the edges and watch when we've lost all the sink edges. We're right there. And I'm just going to move it down so we're not overlapping too much or if all. But we want to make sure there's no gap in between there at the same time. Something like that. How do we want to do this? Alright, well there's a few different ways you can do this, but let's try it this way. This is just what I thought of right now. So we're going to click this piece next. I just made a copy of this sink in the first place with Shift D. And then I Shift left clicked the counter second. We're going to go Object. And we're going to go Difference. It probably would have been better if we did this when this was still a solid piece, but I didn't do it that way, so we'll just make do. So now I'm going to click on this piece. I'm going to go and edit. I'm going to click off everything. I'm going to click L over this piece. I'm going to push P, selection. So what we've done is the piece that we've cut out of the sink by using this as a template, we've just removed it. We separated, and now we can just delete it, and it's gone. And there we go. We've got a clean cut still. Looks good in the counter, so we should be good. If you want real running plumbing, now's probably the time to do that, but we're going to also have to make sure that we do our drawers in such a way that it looks good and still works. So let's make some cubes. Okay, so we're going to make some drawers here. We got two choices of how we can do this. We can take the whole shape out and we can run a bar up the middle. We can make the whole door one cupboard door. We can make it two small cupboard doors. I can shrink it off to one side and make two smaller cabinets. But because of the plumbing in this one, we're probably going to want a big open gap in the middle if you guys actually want to do the plumbing on this. So we do something like that. Make sure we're not coming through any of the other edges, and we're not clicked on the sink, so we shouldn't affect the sink at all. And we will, I hope this works. I'm not thinking, no, yeah, that's good. I seen it was coming through the sink. I don't know why I was worried that was going to mess up. The sink does look a little big too. We could probably shrink it a little bit, but this is going to be a kitchen sink, so you're going to want it to be a big one. Something like that. So now we have the underside of the sink wide open for us. And if you wanted to, you could actually go back and take that piece and just Shift D it and just run it out like that if you want. And then you can use it for a cupboard door at the same time. All up to you if you just want to make another square and flatten it out and size it to the door. It's not that hard to do, so you can do that, I'm sure. Won't be a problem. All right. And, oh yeah, Merry Christmas, by the way, to everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful year. I have had a ridiculous year. My family all chipped in together and bought me a ridiculous graphics card that just came out on the market. And I don't want to show off and say what it is or anything, but if you guys want to know, let me know and I'll let you know. It's a pretty kick-ass game card. I couldn't believe it. I was almost in tears. Sometimes your family can surprise you and really do some kind things. It's so nice. Right, why am I moving this? That's the wrong piece. All right, so let's move on. We will go ahead and make a cylinder. And if you don't celebrate Christmas and you celebrate something else, or you just don't celebrate at all, well, that's fine too. Honestly, I'm not 100% on this Christmas thing, and whatever you celebrate, whatever you do, and I hope you guys are having a great season wherever you are. We're probably going to move this to around the middle. We could probably auto center and stuff, but we did move that piece around, so we're going to have to use our eyeballs a little bit. So I would say that's probably our auto center. And now we're just going to shape this piece a little bit. If you want to make it look like more like a real plumbing piece, we can do a couple things. Starting with this. So we'll leave a lip up here, so we'll do that. I'm sorry, I'm in edit mode, and I push Control R to get these rings. And I'm just going to drag them into the places I think is good. And then I'm going to grab this face after. I'm not going to be able to reach it, am I? No. Hang on a second. We'll move it up like that. That should be easier. There we go. And then we're going to hit S. And we're going to shrink it down like so. And as you can see, it looks a little more like a plumbing piece now, except for it's not hollow in the middle, but that's easy enough, as you guys know. We got all the tricks. So just move that up a little bit. We'll shrink it a little bit, like so. And we'll run that pipe right through, like so. We just got to make sure we're cutting through both edges if you want the actual plumbing to work on this. It's completely up to you. It doesn't have to, obviously, if you just want to make the shapes on the outside, not hollow out the inside because you're just looking for the look. You don't need it to actually function. It's not a plumbing game or whatever you're working on, that's fine. And if you just want to follow along for the practice, that's also fine. I find that when you spend the time to make things work like this, you really learn about the game itself or the programming itself and how to do things better and find new solutions on your own. So I'm going to do something like this. We're going to go Shift D. All right. And we're just going to drag this one up. And I don't know exactly how this is going to go, but we're going to give it a shot, just like we always do. We're going to grab the first piece and then Shift grab the sink after. And we're going to bool difference. As you can see, it left this unsightly shape in the middle. We're just going to hit it. Oh, sorry. Click off everything, and we're going to hit L over top of it, P, selection, and it should, after we get out of edit mode, make it where we can pull that piece out. And now we perfectly remove that piece. Now this one, we slightly shrink it just a hair, not much at all, so just don't do it much at all. You can use S, you can use whatever you want. And we set it in with just the lip sitting above. I guess we can go a little bit bigger, eh? There we go. Something like that. And there's the look of our sink, and it looks pretty good. We're going to have to shade smooth it still, obviously, but we have a function. Oh, did it not make it through? Did it make it through? Yeah, I made it through. I'm just seeing gray underneath because of everything. So it's easy enough to run some pipes underneath, so let's work on the top shape a little bit real fast. And we already have something for this, so let's copy it, Shift D, and drag it over here, and we'll shrink it down and start making the shape of the piece that is going to hold our taps and spigots in and such. All right. We'll just shape it a little bit here. Let's drag it over and see what we're dealing with. We probably want that to be a lot flatter. Okay, so I got an idea how I want to do it now. I'm going to take off the top edges. Sorry, bottom edges. I'm on the wrong thing. That edge needs to be selected. That edge does not. That edge does not. So the bottom of the piece is going to be flat, and the rest of it's going to be kind of rounded, so that's why I chose to take the bottom pieces off. This stuff becomes a little more evident to you the longer you do this stuff, so just keep working at it, and you're going to know for sure what to do in the future. Go to faces, grab this face down here, and we're going to move this up because we want to hold that hard angle, and if we shrink the whole piece together, it's going to change that angle. But if I do it this way, it'll hold that angle exactly. So this is how we're going to do it. Something like so. And maybe it could be a little bit thicker. You're just going to have to play with it till you get the look you want, and it looks exactly what you wanted in the first place. Looks a little thick to me, so I'm going to do a few more adjustments here. Something like that, and maybe just a little bit longer, like that. So this is a piece everything else is going to plug into. So for our taps and spigots and such, there's a couple of ways we can do this again. We can use a curve, or we can try to shape it out of a few different shapes. I think a curve would be probably the most efficient, but let's see if we can make this work. And as you can see, it's a little bit out of shape already. So let's go into edit mode, and we're going to take this edge, and let's just try to straighten it out as much as we can. And then we'll turn it and try to get the shape we need. Alright, so we've got to turn this piece now. So let's try moving it on to 90. Nope, that's wrong. And just mess around with it till you get it. That's right. We'll take this back piece and we're going to run it down like so. And we'll bring it in. Don't worry, we'll get to our shape eventually. We just need to start slowly getting there first. Bring this back a little bit before we get that flat edge back there. Now we will drag this down, like so, and we're going to drag this one over this way, giving us more of a sharp tap kind of look. And as you can see, we're starting to get there. A little bit of a bad shape in there still, but we'll fix her up. Okay, that's better. And if we go E one more time, and then we right click to let it auto place itself, and we're looking good. That piece might be a little bit too long in there. That's probably fine. I think it's hidden in the back piece anyways. Got one more piece here. We gotta go this way with it, and then we gotta turn because this is where our water is gonna pour out, like so. We'll straighten it out, and we'll drag it over because it's not looking good. And then we'll bring it down until we got a nice little edge there. Try to straighten it out. Looking pretty good, I'd say. So let's drag it up and look at it. Maybe just kind of fix the shape in general. As you can see, that's a bit out of shape. And there's just a little tiny misshapiness in there. That's looking pretty good. Maybe we'll squish it a bit. So probably go this way a little bit, and probably go this way a little bit. And let's see what our geometry is going to give us in the end. We probably go down a little bit, and this could come over just a hair. Okay, let's try to mess with the geometry and see what it's going to give us, or if I've messed up here. All right, and we'll do 0.1, and that looks pretty good to me. I don't know about you guys. I think it actually looked better before, so I'm just going to leave it like that, honestly. I think that looks really good, so you may have to tinker around with it to get any bends or anything like that out of it, but you'll get it eventually. So we're just going to bump it in the shape now, and it shouldn't be sticking through any edges anywhere. Make sure, double check. I think I'm good. It still looks a little bit big, to be honest. Why don't we do this? We're going to just hit S and just shrink the whole thing together so we don't make it unshaped again. Because if you shrink one part at a time, you could definitely misshape this piece. Okay, that looks really good to me. This is a little off center here. There we go. Let's make some more pieces to finish off this sink look on the top. Alright, we're going to make a cylinder. Make sure you're out of edit mode when you make this cylinder. Shrink it down with S, hit Shift D. We're going to need a few more, so I'm just going to drag that one over there for now, for we don't have to keep making them. Hit SSS, just S1, sorry, S, and just drag it down until we get just slightly bigger than the sink head, like that. Okay, then we are going to, we're just going to make a little piece on the end of the tap that basically like says like, hey, here's where the water comes from. So you notice there's no hole in it. There's a few different ways we could do this, but I'm just going to do it the easiest, fastest, best way I can think of, which would be to make a second one and stretch it longer than the first one, and then shrink it down and then push it through, and we'll bool through this one with that one and hit Shift left click to grab the second one. And we'll bool, and we're going to difference at the top. You only have to really use the other difference if you're having issues with the modification itself. I'm not, so I think we're good. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Go ahead and attach it, Control J. Oh, we cannot because this is not a piece yet. So we're going to go right click on this, and we're going to convert to a mesh. And when we're ready, then we can grab this piece and Control J, and now they are attached. Sorry about that. And we can attach it to that, Control J. Alright, and now we need to make some more pieces. We're going to hit Shift D. And again, the more detail you spend on making this thing, the better it's going to look in the long run. Hit Shift D again. Alright, we're going to hit S, something like that. And we'll drag that down like so. Oh, and the other one's a little bit forward. I don't like that. So I'm going to just click on that and go into edit mode, and I'm going to hit L over here, and I'm just going to drag this a bit back because it's just a little bit off-centered, and we just want to make it look centered for it to look better overall. Okay, so we got that. We got this. Let's go down here, grab this face in edit mode with tab, of course, and I'm just going to shrink that, and I'm going to go up to the top one. I'm going to hit Control B, and I'm just going to roll it around like that, and then I'm going to grab this face, and I'm going to hit E and just bring it down a little bit. Then you hit I, and then I'm going to hit E and bring it up a little bit. Okay. And I think we got the basic shape for a handle for one of these things. We did move it after, didn't we? It can be harder to auto center. Just keep on looking at it from every angle. Make sure you got it basically auto center. You can usually tell from the bottom because one side will be bigger than the other. And when you think you got it, move it down, but just leave a slight gap near the bottom like so. We're going to Control J. We're going to Shift D. And then we're going to flip-flop this over to the other side. So it should be this one, but we'll see. There we go. So now we have the exact same thing on both sides. We've got both our handles for our sink. We've got our tap. We can Control J to make the whole thing. Now it is all one piece. If you'd like to leave these loose where you can turn them, that is perfectly fine. And we'll get to the rest pretty soon. One more thing we will do is we're going to move this piece in here and just over the edge of this, like so. Take a second to make sure we're good and in place. Gotta hit S. Okay. Shrink it down a little bit. Grab this upper little lip. Control B it. And then we're going to move that down. And it's just going to give our sink a little better of a look with that around the end of it like that. I think anyways. Hopefully you guys agree. And I think we got a pretty handsome looking sink now here. It's very symmetrical, beautiful. Make our doors for the last step, and we'll do some quick coloring and be done with this video. And I'd like to do these videos faster, but I'm finding that either if I do them any faster, then some people are having troubles keeping up, and if I go any slower, everybody's mad. So I think I found the right pace. So if you're not happy with that, I'm very sorry. There's always other YouTubers that are probably a little faster. I'm honestly only for beginners, or if you just have troubles coming up with ideas of how to get to places on your own. So I hope you're enjoying these videos. Make sure you fire a thumbs up today if you are, and if it's actually helped you in your game. All right. So there's a few ways we can do this. We can go right to the exact shape, which would probably be the most best looking shape we can do. Maybe shrink a bit this way. We have an upper gap and a lower gap. But I think that's about right. And there's a couple ways we could do the door if we're doing one single door like so. We could just drop the edges in like this, and then we can hit E, drag it in, hit I, drag it in, hit E, drag it out, hit I, drag it in, hit E, something like that. And that would give us a lot of contours on our door, make it look really old and efficient. There's a couple different ways you could do that. You could adjust some of the other angles that I didn't adjust as well. You can move these in, you can move these out. Take your time, get the look you want. Maybe go study a cover. Maybe look on Google for you can see what you're trying to, the look you're trying to get to. I think this is good enough for what I'm after. I'm just making a basic cupboard door for our sink. So, oh, I made a mistake. Do not do this in edit mode. So we're gonna flip out of edit mode, and I'm just gonna make a extra cylinder. All right, so we'll take our cylinder. We're gonna flip flop it sideways, which I think is this one. No, that's wrong. All right, so we got that. Now we're gonna hit tab. We're gonna hit Control R, and we're gonna bring this up to about there, and then we're gonna hit Control R again, and we're gonna bring this up to about there. And we're gonna click Shift left click to put faces on. Oops. Once you got the face too, we're gonna hit S, and we're gonna shrink that down, and we can bring it up a little bit to make more of a handle shape. We take this, and we can go in a little bit and just keep dropping it in if you like. And And it's probably going to be a pretty good look, I'd say. But you're going to have to mess with it a bit. Come out, go in, do whatever you need to do to make it look good, but this is what I would do. Something like that. You got a nice contour to your handle. Shrink it down. That's always a good idea, to make things big and then shrink them down after, for you can add the details you need without struggling to add it. Sometimes working on some of the smaller stuff can be a little tedious. You have to choose what side you want to put your handle on. I'll go over here just for now. I think I went a little too small, didn't I? So just S until you're about the right size. Bring it up to probably there, maybe? I don't know. Make it a little bigger. We could try a different type of handle if you don't like that type. Easy enough, but I think we're about in the right place. We're inside of it, so I'm just going to say that's good for now. I'm going to make the door one piece, and the rest... Oh. And the rest should be one piece. If we want to finish the plumbing down below, probably now's the time. I don't think I'm going to have to do that, but... Easy enough to just run a pipe straight through the bottom, or if you want to put some intricate curves in there, I would use the curve that I just showed you to make the sink, and just make it however you want. But I don't think this is actually going to open for me, so I'm not going to bother. Okay, so we got this, we got this, we got that. Let's attach them, and I'll leave the door off. Maybe we won't end up using it that way. We can also color them all together by attaching, and then just separating one piece after we've colored everything. Let's go to our color wheel and we'll get this colored real quick. Alright. So we got to choose some basic colors. Most of the cabin will probably be... I'm just going to make it a bit of a yellow instead of making it white, for I can see the color a little bit better. Okay? Just like the toilet, basically. Let's make our countertop a different color. Doesn't matter. We're just assigning a slot for inside of our game. Unless it's an art project, then you're going to want to pause, take your time to play with your color palettes a little more. So we're going to push L on this. I don't know what color we want to make our sink. Maybe we'll just make it bright white, just for a different look. Okay, so far looking pretty good. Maybe we'll do a wooden door, make it look like a wooden door. So we can go plus new, and we'll do a reddish, and then we'll darken it to a brown. Okay, so now we got our wooden door on there. Maybe we want to make a metal handle, so you can do a gray on that one, or whatever color. You're just giving it a slot, so maybe I'll go a bit darker, like so. It's almost a black. Alright, so we'll get to our handles now, or our sink part now. So L, L, L. And then there's a little piece underneath of this. You're going to want an L on that and L on that. So those are all the pieces that are going to be silver. And if we miss any, we'll add them in, because I think I did just miss one. And that should be silver now. And as I can see, it's actually out of place a little bit. So let's just move that like so. There we go. There we go. And then... make sure that we clicked on the whole thing, and we will also make it silver. Okay, so easy enough. Everything's looking good. Our counter's looking like a counter, all right. Did I ever attach that piece? No, I didn't. So there's that little piece down here that leads to the drain. Usually these are silver. Usually they're made out of metal. So they can be made out of plastic, so you choose what you think is best. And there we go, that's done. I'm going to give these two their own color, which will be, I don't know, we'll just make it kind of bluey purple for now. And then we're going to do one for cold water. So we're just going to add just this top piece right there. We'll make it a definite blue. And that one will be hot water, and it'll be marked red. And of course you don't have to do these if you don't want to, but that's how sinks usually are. There we go. We got a complete sink to go with our toilet. It looks like the size is a bit off. It's probably something more like that, but you can always bump it up against your toilet to kind of get an idea. So we got our toilet, we got our sink. our next episode, we're going to do bass, so I hope you guys come join me for that. Again, make sure you fire a thumbs up at the video today. It helps other people find the video and with their projects. If you've enjoyed the video today, make sure to leave a comment and check out some of my other videos. I got lots of things up that I'm sure you'll enjoy. And thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.